guys, welcome back to Camille's Corner. So, y'all, the Barbs are at it again, and I really feel like I should make this into a series with like a different playlist on my channel or something, and I'm gonna call it When the Barbs Attack. Because I swear, it's like the Barbs are dragging somebody new every single week on behalf of their queen. So, this should really be a series, okay? But anyway, this week they're dragging Usher because he had the nerve to speak the truth. So Usher was live with Swizz Beats and they were discussing the versus battles and who they would like to see in the next one. And Swizz Beats says that he would like to see a Nicki Minaj versus Lil Kim battle. And Usher really wasn't feeling that idea and he said Nicki Minaj is a product of Lil Kim. And I guess he felt like Nicki wasn't worthy of going up against Lil Kim or something. Y'all check out what he said.
But then I see Lil Kim versus Nicki.
Ooh.
I see a lot of that.
Yeah, but that's she Kim is Nicki is a
Hold up,
product.
you already trending on Twitter right now, by the way. It's the versus effect, King.
So as you can imagine, y'all, after this started circulating, the Barbs came out in full attack mode and they started dragging Usher to hell. Y'all, the Barbs have no chill, okay? Check out some of these comments. So my thing is, I really don't know what the Barbs are so upset about because Usher spoke no lies. I mean, Nicki Minaj is a product of Lil Kim. And nobody who's honest can deny that, okay? Nicki's music and her whole image was heavily influenced by Lil Kim, and that's not even a diss, it's just the truth. But see, it's like the Barbs like to paint this picture that Nicki Minaj is the best thing that ever happened to rap music, or she invented the genre or something. It's like if they feel like acknowledging that Nicki was influenced by other people somehow diminishes her contribution to the industry, but I don't think it does. I mean, you can acknowledge that Nicki was influenced by Lil Kim, and that doesn't take away from anything that Nicki has accomplished. I don't know why they see it that way. I feel like what's insulting is to try to downplay Lil Kim's contribution. They keep saying that she's washed up and she can't rap no more and she's irrelevant and all of that. But you cannot deny that Lil Kim paved the way for all of these new girls, either indirectly or directly, including Nicki Minaj. And what's just crazy to me is that the Barbs are dragging Usher for saying something that Nicki has said herself. Nicki has said that Kim was one of her inspirations. She has acknowledged that people like Lil Kim and Remy Ma and Lauryn Hill and all of those people, she has said that they paved the way for her.
To me, like, all of the whole entire New York scene, Biggie and Kim, Foxy and Jay, Lauren, it was just it was so powerful. I didn't have to look too far to have my inspirations. And I used to say that early on.
So how are the Barbs out here wanting to fight Usher for saying something that Nicki has acknowledged herself? Make it make sense. And that's just to show you how delusional this fan base is, okay? They will tear down anything and anybody that they feel is coming for their queen. And they act like all the girls that came after Nicki Minaj, they owe her homage. But when somebody brings up the fact that Nicki Minaj owes Lil Kim homage, it's a problem. But y'all, the fact is Nicki came into an industry that other women had already opened doors in, and they made it easier for her to walk through. And it's the same as she did for other girls that came after her. So I don't know why the Barbs are acting like Nicki was this original artist that came out and saved rap or something. She wasn't. And it's completely okay to acknowledge that. That doesn't take away from her contribution to the industry. But, y'all, I saw a conversation on Twitter about this, and it really stood out to me because I saw a Barb saying that Usher is irrelevant and he hasn't had any number one hits in the last decade. And I was like, But Nicki hasn't had any number one hits in her entire career. Usher has had several, and he's a Grammy winning artist. Meanwhile, Nicki has never won a Grammy, and she just scored her first number one by hopping on a remix of a song that was already hot without her. So, y'all are shading Usher, but y'all will not acknowledge that Nicki could not get a number one song on her own, and her only number one was because of a feature on a song that was already hot. Meanwhile, Usher has had several number one hits on his own. Y'all, I swear the Barbz are a bunch of children, okay? They have to be. Because, like I said, they attack anybody who they think is coming for their queen. And I don't even think Usher was coming for Nicki like that. He was just stating a fact. And to be honest, y'all, I wouldn't want to see a Nicki Minaj versus Lil Kim battle either, okay? I want to see Kim versus Lauryn Hill or Kim versus Eve. Y'all, if Kim versus anybody, it has to be somebody from her era. That's what I want to see. And let's just be honest, okay? If Nicki has to versus anybody, it has to be Cardi B. Because, I mean, Cardi B was Nicki Minaj's first real competition after 10 years on the top. So that's the battle people would want to see. So, y'all, I really just think the Barbz need to calm down and go to bed and stop attacking everybody who has an opinion. Especially when that opinion can be backed up by proof. Because Nicki Minaj did fashion her career after Lil Kim, and her whole aesthetic when she came out was she wanted to replace Lil Kim. She wanted to compete with Lil Kim. She saw herself as the next Lil Kim.
And you came out with your own version. As a matter of fact, JC, I want you to put up the Kim picture first. Okay. Now the Minaj picture. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I looked at it as a way to draw in attention and to give myself a platform to speak and say, hey, you know, out with the old and with the new. Because anything that's great revolves. You know what I'm saying? Evolves, whatever you want to call it. It changes. Nothing stays the same. So I commend, you know, Lil Kim, and I was paying homage to her, saying, I love Lil Kim, you know what I'm saying? But I think that I have what it takes to fill her shoes. I think that if anyone has the power to do it, it's Nicki Minaj.
So I'm really glad to see a lot of people are not falling for this shit, and they are calling the Barbz out on their hypocrisy, and y'all, I love to see it, okay? So just check out some of these comments. So that's my thoughts on the whole situation. I said what I said. Now here come the Barbz to drag me in 3, 2, 1. Y'all, the Barbz really make me laugh sometimes, okay? Because they're out here windmilling, trying to act like Nicki was original and she wasn't inspired by anybody. Meanwhile, the name of their fan base was inspired by Lil Kim. Because Kim was doing this Barbie stuff way before Nicki was even a thought. So y'all's whole fan base is a product of Lil Kim. I'm just saying. Anyway, let me know what y'all think about the Barbz dragging Usher. Do you think he was right with what he said? Or do you feel like Nicki was completely original and she didn't fashion anything after Lil Kim? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Bye guys, and thanks for watching.